I was pushing the send button for my message, and I ended up logging in. Shit. I didn't mean to log in this early. Hold on here. Well, I'm in. I might as well talk about some things since I got in early. Hold on. Damn it. I did not mean to log in that early. Shoot. All right. Well, I'm early. Jim, I look at this chart this morning in gold, and the first thing I thought of was, damn, Jim's made a lot of money today. But then I also said to myself, everybody else should have made money. God dang, anybody that's paying attention to the gold market. I was up. I've been on the freaking phone all morning. All freaking morning. I've been on the phone. I am juggling way too many customers. Hell, I sold another home yesterday. I need to add another home to my pile of homes right now, like I need a hole in the head. I sold another home yesterday for cash. And here's the funny part. The house is only going like 5 miles from the factory that I'm going to order the house from. Jesus. Insane. Good morning. I accidentally buzzed in too early this morning. I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to hit the send button for a chat, and I instead hit the start stream button. So, man, there was some. I mean, I don't know if I can draw pictures for you guys enough. I'm not saying you had to be up at, and do this, but I mean, God damn it. Seriously, it's frustrating. If you've been following me and you've been paying attention to so let me do the ifs. If you've been following me and if you've been paying attention to what I talk about on this live stream, I mean, I want you guys to see this stuff, and you've been studying the little videos that I put together in the section called trade strategy training videos, or whatever the hell it's called on my YouTube channel. If you've been doing that, you should have made all your money right here. Bing, bing, bing. That was it. I can tell you right now, Jim did. I can tell you right now, Jim hit that baby right there and made all that money. I can guarantee it. I guarantee it. That setup right there, I cannot make, and this same trade has happened like 3 days in a row. I know. Remember now, Jim's in California doing this. Jim's in California, but he got his ass out of bed to make that money right there. That trade right there. That trade right there. I can't scream this shit loud enough. Oh my God. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. $747. Oh yeah, there was another one there. Absolutely. Absolutely, Thumper Dink. There was another one right there. That was the first drive down. Yeah, let's talk about that. So you had a crossover retest even earlier in the pre-market. You had a crossover retest right here. That's the one Thumperdink's talking about. And that set the floor for the Donchian. They ran it through, came back, crossed over, did the same damn thing, back to the same damn pivot. Jesus. I can't draw this stuff any better than that. Good job, Thumperdink. I'm excited for you, man. Unbelievable. 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 Just unbelievable. Gold is literally printing money every freaking day. Every freaking day. Now, Jim took this one here too, which is a more advanced trade that I don't talk about on this channel that much until you've learned how to do this. This is till you've learned how to do this, there's no sense in talking about this. But you got 10 points on this one, I'm sure, Jim. I'm sure you got 10 points on that one. You had all that room from here to here for 10 points. God dang. It's just beautiful. It's like literally printing free money. Gold is creating green money. Think about that. It's like, and Jim, you're in California. There's gold in them there hills. It's the gold rush. It's the gold rush. Jim's just living in a different era of gold rush. He doesn't have to get all dirty and go in a mine or pan in a river. Anyways, unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Another thing for those of you that whatever, I have found that, in the afternoons, these things are setting up good. I had a good afternoon yesterday. Unknown caller. Unknown? Well, Jesus. Going to my voicemail. Let me think here. Let me look. Let me figure out what I made yesterday. Give me a second, because I made some money today too. Not much. Hold on here. So I made $840 yesterday. And I think it was an RTY trade yesterday afternoon is where I made like $400 or $500 or whatever. I can't remember. I think it was an RTY trade yesterday afternoon. So, the key is to stay out of the time frame when the market's not doing any movement. Then when it starts coming to life, you got to start looking for the patterns. Rinse, wash, repeat, rinse, wash, repeat. And then having the patience for the trades to go to targets. Jim's opening up my mind on targets with gold. I mean, he really is, because he's targeting 10 points out of the gate on these things. And the reality of it is that's a lot of times gold is giving up 10 points. So which is just crazy amount of points, but it's not considering it's up at $4,000 an ounce. But I mean, 10 points is significant. So why do you not trade oil, Bob? Why do you not trade oil anymore, Bob? Well, this is real simple, because a 10-point swing in gold is the same value to a trader as a 10-point swing in oil. Well, when's the last time you've seen a 10-point swing in oil? When's the last time you've seen oil have an entry, say at $60 and it runs to 70? It doesn't do that anymore. It used to do that years ago. It does not do that anymore. And I think the traders have found their new place to go trade, which is in gold. The old oil traders are probably all gold traders now. I mean, I know I am. I know I am. So anyways, that crossover retest right there is right there, was a beauty. And then that right there, Jesus. Anyways, beautiful, 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 beautiful. That, by the way, that was my customer that I sold a house to for cash yesterday. That's how important you guys are to me. I dropped him into my voicemail. Anyways, damn. Now, I missed these trades. I missed them this morning. Being full disclosure, I took a trade in the YM, though. As soon as I got my charts loaded, I hit it, and it went up, and I moved my stop, blah, blah, blah. I'm up $110. Nothing worth talking about. Not the stratosphere shit that Jim's at. You did, Harold? That's the one I'm chirping about this morning. If you've been watching my channel and you've been paying attention and you've followed the things I teach and try to get you guys to understand, that right there was it. And by the way, Mike, one of the reasons Jim doesn't talk too much in this group is because he's doing some more advanced things, because he's trading with bigger money. He's not running a PA account. When he's not running an eval account. He's not running that stuff. Okay. So like this setup right here is not something that I teach, because there's a lot of things you got to understand about this 5-minute 9 EMA versus the 1 minute 9 EMA. So Jim nailed this trade, and then he followed the gold line down, and then he hit this trade and he followed it back down to the pivot. So that's where he made his money. But you've got to learn to walk before you can run. Okay, Jim's running. He's not walking anymore, and he's also not trading with a drawdown. So if he's shooting for a 10-point swing and price rolls back up against him and he's got a 3-point stop, it's not going to hurt him. Excellent job, Harold. What do you think about that, Harold? What do you think about the fact that you now know how to look at a chart and see a rotation like that, and you can take it and have really good confidence that when you enter, that thing's going to bring you to some really good profit in a very short amount of time? I think that's exciting. See, that's why when I sometimes in my YouTube videos, I get excited. I get excited because I like the fact that I can look at a chart and see opportunities. They're not there all the time, but they do show up at times. Not every moment is an opportunity. This is not an opportunity for me right now. Okay? Not every moment is an opportunity. Yeah, and that's the worst part about it, Harold, is, and I'm going to, this just, the worst part about it is even if you understand the trades, it's the mental fortitude I still struggle with that. It's the mental fortitude to take that trade, trust the trade, see the pattern, let it go to target. It's tough. That's one. And number two is the patience to know, oh God, I have to execute. This is the moment I have to execute. It's the patience to know this is it. And a setup like this, if you're a trader and you want to make, I'm going to use just some simple math here, but you want to make, say, $1,000 a week. There it is. Boom, you're done. One day, one trade. Matter of fact, the same freaking thing happened yesterday. So you just boom, boom, you're done. You're done. Then you've made $1,000 for the week. Now, if you want to do like Jim and keep developing forward and turn it into a possibility that you've either got a second income or maybe even a path to freedom to not have to have two jobs, because I consider this a job. This is a job. Then you can do that, but you got to learn how to build a bankroll with trades like this. You got to learn to build a bankroll with trades like this so that you can start doing things like this and a few other things. I know I get overly excited, but I mean, come on, man. And listen, I can't preach this. I cannot preach this enough. Hold on. Let me look, Joe. Shit. Yeah. Okay. So we have a potential crossover retest in the RTY. That's what you're asking me about, Joe, right? More importantly than anything, I cannot stress this enough. More importantly than anything is not getting depressed on yourself that you missed the trade. It's more importantly is knowing that you recognized it. And for example, Joe, what you just brought up, that's a very good possibility. It's recognizing the possible setups. I mean, it blew right through there and has not come back. So, what we hope for as traders, or what I hope for as traders, let me get rid of that thing for a second, is, hold on, let me get rid of this. I got this in the way. Give me a second here. So what we hope for as traders is, we just hope for the pattern. The patterns that we're counting on, like the NQ just did a 1 minute gold line, and it's actually freaking working. And I missed it because I'm too busy running my mouth. But it's recognizing the patterns, and anticipating. So that's why I tell people, look at where each one of the charts is, and then tell yourself, what am I looking for to take a trade here? And if the answer is, well, really nothing, because it's all consolidating, like it's, just sitting in mud, like gold is right now, which gold is doing what it has a tendency to do. It has a tendency to go into mud mode after it's moved and the equities are going along for a while. Then gold will wake up again later. So when, okay, so what are we looking for? So in the RT and the YM, we may be looking at a 1 minute gold line trade right here. Okay. In the RTY, we may be looking at a 1 minute gold line trade. I'm thinking right now, Joe, we're really probably looking at a 1 minute gold line at this point. The other problem is we do have news at 10 o'clock. But recognize the patterns, recognize, what the market's doing, and then look for the opportunity. Well, Mike, I always say, especially if you're trading an eval or something like that, you're not trading, money with profit. Like I'll do some crazy stuff if I'm up, like I shouldn't say crazy. I'll be more aggressive if I'm up, $500-$600 for the day. But I preach all the time not to chase trades. Like here we are watching the RTY just run away. I'm just not going to chase it. I need it to give me something. Oh, really, Chris? Okay, I did not know that. Due to shutdown. Let me ask anybody a question here. Does the government? The funny part is the government is shut down, right? Oh, that must be what these asterisks are. Yeah, there's asterisks on here. Okay, there's asterisks on my chart. Okay, that's what it is. Data delayed to the government shutdown. F that. The funny part is the government doesn't work anyways. You know, the government doesn't work anyways. And then when the government does do their numbers, they're always wrong. They're not even close. You know why they're always wrong? Because nobody gets fired for doing them wrong. All right. So thank you for that piece of information there, Chris. I did not know that. Thank you. Excellent. So we have no hindrance then on us possibly finding an opportunity. So for example, the YM is, see how the YM is walking its way to the prior day low. So because it's walked to the prior day low, I mean, it was running here, but then it started meandering. So now that it's meandering, we don't want to look for a rejection here. What we'd rather see is see it push through, come back, sit on top, or push through, or let me do the or push through, hang out up here, and then run back underneath, sit, come underneath, and then boom. Just like what happened in gold this morning. So there's only one way for us to be taking a short off the prior day low. Crosses over, comes up here, and then slams it underneath, comes back up, and then boom. Otherwise, we're looking for it to cross over, sit on top, and then go long. That's all we're looking for in the YM. We're still looking for a potential 1 minute gold line in RTY, and the freaking RT and NQ did a beautiful 1 minute gold line right here. Crossover. Here's your candle. Crossover, Donchian Channel. Boom, boom, gone. Just gone. Just gone. Just gone. And I missed it because I'm too busy sitting here screaming about gold. Screaming about gold. I should have been in that RTY, that NQ trade. Should have been in that NQ trade, Bob. Oh, that was a beautiful setup in the NQ. Absolutely textbook. And it's still going. Absolutely textbook NQ 1 minute gold line trade. Absolutely textbook. Absolutely textbook. Did anybody catch that NQ trade? I mean, that NQ trade had $500 written all over it, man. $500 right there in your pocket. $500. No problem, Mike. You got it, Rick? All right. All right. Good. That's exciting. Still in it, Chris? Yeah, that son of a gun may run. I mean, I would be very surprised, but it may run to the prior day low. I'd be very surprised if it had that much gumption in it, but you never know. Yeah, I got you, Ryan. I get that. Would you guys stop? Okay. Would you guys stop? My dogs are my dogs are going to be a real pain in the butt today because nobody's home to play with them except me. I'm the only one home with them today. Now, because these guys are rolling up meaning RTY and NQ. I'm really going to be focused on this YM to cross over and sit on top. Did it wake? Yeah, well, it woke up back up. Yeah, it's still now it's in that already been here zone recently. So GC, that is. There's some trades in here that I don't talk about on the channel. Jim may have taken one of them. I don't know. But I don't talk about them on the channel because they're just, again, I want you to learn the basics before I need you to take trades like that NQ trade and make money and see consistency in that before you start doing things that are a little more advanced. You got to learn to walk before you can run. All right, so we've got a potential RTY here. I really wish it had a stronger pullback than this. I mean, I really wish it had a stronger pullback than this. It has not pierced our gold line yet. NQ has screwed the pooch up here. Rick, it screwed the pooch right there. So it needs to either reset a new high or something like that before it comes back, if it's going to do that. It just did it. So, you probably saw that. God dang. Yeah, gold is doing exactly what it should have done. So just give you a basic example. Okay. So when gold came up to the 5.9 EMA, okay. All right. It came up and then sat on top of the 90. See that? And then rotated up. Those are counter trend to the overall market sentiment. And that's, you got to be able to work your way out of losses before you start getting aggressive. $7,200, Orville. What the hell, man? Yeah, no problem, Rick. No problem, Rick. Hell, man, you beat me. You took the right trade in the first place. You took the right trade in the first place. Thomas, I've been on here bitching that everybody should have. You asked me, I believe it was you that asked me, when do you start looking at gold? I think you asked me that a while back. And I said, well, at least when it opens, which is 8:20 in the morning. So what happened at 8:20? Well, here's 8:20. We had a crossover retest. Bam. There's your money. And you're done, Thomas. You're at the beach or you're going out to Bryant Park and playing golf or whatever you want to do. You're done. That's it. You're done. That's it. You're done. Jim nailed it. Jim nailed that exact trade. But Jim's not happy being done because he's got to pay taxes in California. Jim's got to still collect the Gavin Newsom pet tax. I think this is going to roll over more because, see, we went down, created that pivot, rolled up, created, and then broke that pivot on the way down. So I'm kind of thinking this has gotten a little overextended over here. Yeah, I'm with you there, Thomas. I was on the phone. with a factory working on a spec when that set up. I didn't get it either. I didn't get it either. But again, what's more important is, would you have recognized it? Would you have recognized the fact that that setup happened right in front of your face and it was as clean and as clear as possible? And if the answer is yes, then, you know, that's more important than the one moment you took it and made money. Because these patterns, I can't say it. You've all heard me say it 50 million times. Have you seen this movie before? Rinse, wash, repeat. I mean, I can't, you know what I mean? It's all the same garbage one day after another. All we need to make money is to have volatility in the market. The patterns are there. These same patterns that we're talking about right here in gold, for example, they still happen in oil every day. The problem is the follow through is not the same as it is in gold. Therefore, I'm not sitting here with an oil chart. Does that make sense? It's the same patterns. The same exact patterns happen in gold. I mean, in oil every day. Exact same patterns. All right, YM might end up being the one we need. But I want it to be deliberate. I want it to collapse down, sit on top of that low, and then prior day low, and then take a long. You should be done, ice cold trader. You should be done. That was my whole point. I texted it in the chat a long time ago. I said, you gold traders should be done for the day. You should already be done. You should already be done. Oh, man. Come on, YM. What the hell are you doing? That's all right. If it creates so here's the deal. It's like you get nervous because it's running away, right? You see it running away. But you got to remember, let me blow this up a little bit. Okay. Support. See, it supported here, pushed it up in the pre-market, then rolled it down. So the probability that they're going to just run right through and not come back and retest this is pretty low. So at some point, and you could see it got bumped here a couple times. So you just got to use the law of averages. The law of averages say it's going to come up here somewhere. And then at one point in time, the sharks are going to enter the tank and they're going to chase the mullet right back down to here. And then we're going to be sitting there waiting for that opportunity to run it back up. It's fishing season here in North Carolina at the coast. So I'm going to use some fishing analogies, I guess. Well, I talk about sharks all the time. The sharks are in the tank, right? We want the sharks in the tank because the sharks are the ones that are running the patterns that we know. And we need the sharks to take us from here to here. So let me look at this RTY for a second. Let me blow this one up and see if we got the same scenario here. Oh, look at that. Look at the RTY. Holy cow. Okay, so they banged down here, rolled up, banged up there, rolled down, and then banged down twice. Okay, so is this line a valid line to the RTY trading community? Absolutely, it is today. So we would love to see that thing come back down here, sit on here, and get along. Can you see that? Bam, bam. In the pre-markets, They did a crossover retest right here. Woof, straight down. God dang. Beautiful. All right. So I like to, if you look again, I always say it, look to the left, because it'll help you predict the future. If you look to the left, it'll help you predict the future. Right now, none of the sharks are in the tank. Everything's moving way too slow. Orville, I'm a lazy bass fisherman. I use live bait. I do. And the same thing with catfish. I use live bait. I'm a lazy fisherman. Oh God, Chris. Yeah, you're in Ohio. Yeah, the weather in Ohio is atrocious compared to North Carolina. There's no doubt about it. I grew up in Vermont, but I lived in Boston before I relocated to North Carolina with the company I was working for. And man, the first thing that happened to me when I moved here, all the locals told me, well, you're going to have a hard time when the summer comes along because it gets hot. And, it was a little hot, but now the heat doesn't bother me at all, but it's the weather is phenomenal. I mean, it's going to be 70 degrees today, I think. I'm taking my dogs for a walk later on today. Let me look it up here. Yeah, today's high is going to be 66. And it's completely sunny, clear blue skies. I'm going to take my dogs for a 5-mile walk. I took them for a 5-mile walk yesterday. All right, come on, guys. Come on, push it down one more leg. We need it to come down one more leg on both of these. See, we're stuck on that 9 EMA right here from the 5-minute candle. We're stuck on it right there. And I'm just too conservative. I'm not going to take, I want them to come to here. But going back to that analogy, Orville, yes, I'm going to teach you guys how to fish. I'm not going to give you a fish. That's why I ask the questions I ask. I mean, it's nice to see that somebody caught this NQ trade instead of me sitting here going, oh, here's the NQ trade. You guys should see these things by now. If you're paying attention, you should see them already. Damn, the RTY just ran off. You piece of crap. You piece of crap. The RTY stuck on the 5-minute 9 EMA, and the YM at the same time was on the 1-minute 9 EMA. And I'm hoping for them to slam down to to the prior day low to test the tops, because they haven't done that yet. Not after this rotation. So I'm looking for the more conservative location for entry. And keep in mind, while I'm saying that, I am looking at the ES and the NQ, and both are rolling over. Like, they're rolling over. So I'm just hoping the rest of the equity start rolling over also. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Damn it. Does not look like it's going to happen. Damn it. What the fuck? Yeah, right off the 5-minute 9 EMA. Right there. That's why I have that line on there, because I can see why it gets, if it gets stuck, why it got stuck. I mean, yes, Dominic, but I didn't do it because I still thought they need to clean out the top of the prior day low. I will, if I'm close to lines, I will always take the more conservative line, which is the further one back. You know, because they have not tested the top of the prior day low yet. They meandered their way there and crossed over. They have not tested the top of it. So I still believe that's what they're going to do. So I just didn't take it. I mean, I just didn't do it. I mean, and we had an inside candle and all that. I mean, there's 50 reasons that you could have taken it. It's not a bad trade. It's not a bad trade. You had an inside candle, you know, all that stuff. Boom, boom, boom. So, I mean, it's not a bad trade. I just didn't do it. I saw them reaching right here. You can see them reaching. And I'm like, damn it, just get there. And they did the same thing in the RTY. They reached, but they didn't get there. Yeah, I get that, Tony. The one thing about gold, though, is, when it opens, you know, and whatnot, it just doesn't have all the stupidity that the equity markets do. As a matter of fact, gold really has more stupidity when oil opens at 9 o'clock than it does when its own market opens in a lot of cases. So I kind of take gold as a, yeah, it's opened, but I'm not that concerned about it. I just don't freak out that it's just recently opened. Wow. God dang it. Look at that RTY. God dang it. God dang it. Just drove right off of that 9 EMA right there, a 5-minute 9 EMA. Just drove right off of it. Look at that. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Frustrating. Yeah, gold works well pre-market. You just got to watch out for watch out for gaps in pricing in gold. If the gaps are too big between the bid and the ask, I just stay away from it. Oh my God. All right, so we might have a possible, 1 minute 1 minute gold line in the RTY. If you guys see that right here. So let me blow this thing up a little more so I can see what the hell we're heading towards. Should be heading towards nothing. Okay, yep. Are you in that rotation down, Jim? Are you in that rotation down right there? In gold? I'm assuming you are. Because I just took my full $100 on that. Were you in that rotation down, Jim? My guess is you're still in it. You're still in it. Okay, hold on here. Hold on here. Sorry. RTY long. All right. There you go, Jim. Yeah. See? Yeah. Exactly. That was a nice setup. Oh, I'm going to get knocked out. Yeah, I got knocked out. Man, RTY just freaking clopped me. Holy cow. Look at that collapse in gold. Holy cow. Look at that collapse right there. 39.45. 39.45. Right here. Yeah, RTY just screwed the pooch right there. Totally screwed the pooch right there. Remember what I've said about the ES, Rick, with the gold line is you can trade it bouncing off that thing multiple times as long as you've got a decent pullback and room from the entry to the pivot that got you there. And that's exactly how I passed my first PA, my first not my first eval. That's how I passed my eval and then got funded on my PA, was exactly that trade right there. That what you just brought up about gold. So gold gets on top of this gold line, and then once it finally gets to the gold line, and then bam, there it goes. And then it comes and sits on the gold line, and then bam, there it goes. And then it comes, sits on the gold line, and then bam, there it'll go. I mean, that's what gold has a tendency to do when it's trending in one direction or another. But you got to slow walk it like it's not, you're not hitting any home runs. I clipped my standard $400 on that one, Jim. I should have at least done 500. I should have at least done 500 because the pivot was still below my exit by 12 more ticks. It's always been fighting long. If gold would just get on its high horse right now and cross over that red line and get on top of that prior day low, man, I'd be a lot more interested in it because it wants to go long. It wants to go long. Without a doubt, it wants to go long. And the RTY has gone dormant after this nice big rotation here. So they're stuck. People keep buying into this rotation. There's no commitment. It's stuck. Probably because this keeps rolling over. See, this has gone smooth. See how this one has just continued down? The tops keep getting lower tops, lower highs. This one's just smoothly rolling over, the YM. We may be finally getting that what I want, which is the collapse to here and then the long. That's what I really want to happen over here. Yeah, that would be a good situation, David. Absolutely. To do a GC crossover, retest at a prior day low. That would be a good situation, without a doubt. And just as soon as I say this about the YM, it buys its way back out of this spot. What the hell? All right. It is the Bob curse. If you'd been looking at the YM the whole time instead of me over here with the RTY, you never would have had an entry, and therefore you never would have gotten stopped out. It is the Bob curse. I swear to God, I've told you guys, if I'm looking at two instruments at the same time, always trade the other one, not the one I'm trading. Really need things to wake up here. It's just getting really quiet. Need you to come down here. Here. Come on. Let's do it. Oh my God, Jim. Thank you very much. See you, Jim. Make sure your setting is that on price change. When you go into your setting, when you go, especially with the 1 minute gold line, in your settings on your indicator, go in here. So like, let's go to the 1 minute gold line just for the hell of it. Where is it? Right here. It's the first one. All right. Where the hell is it? On price change. Calculate on price change. You want it to already have that line in there. So you want it to calculate where it should be as price is changing, not when the candle's closed. Yeah, exactly. Short stuff. That exactly. There's enough people in here that already know how to answer these questions. It doesn't have to be me. Oh, shoot. God dang it. I am so sick and tired of the NQ. Let me get this freaking thing out of the way. I'm going to just look at this NQ for a second. So, well, all right, we're rolling over. So from here to here might be a spot to pay attention. That good, lunatic. I started doing the live stuff because I had just so many people asking me to just do it. So, you know, I mean, I'm not a technical person by any stretch of the imagination, so it took me a while to figure out how to even do this. But you know, here I am. You know, here I am. Yeah. We just need things to start going in direction. See, I started paying attention to this because it started moving. You know, I glance at the charts and look for things that are actually moving. And if I don't see things moving, I glance to the next chart. So we got some movement going on in gold here that we might want to start paying attention to. So we've got gold sitting here at the red line. Now it took a meandering process to get here, so there's no red line trade to the short side. All right. So what I'm hoping, and there's going to be, now this is my opinion. All right. We're hoping as a group right now, I'm assuming that price comes up, sits on top of this prior day low, and then runs. Well, the problem with that is, so we're looking for this to be our trade spot, is my guess, to the long side. All right. The problem with that right now is this red line is so steeply down. So what I envision happening before this setup happens is price kind of starts hanging out in this area and starts dragging the head of that red line up a little bit. Okay, that's just my 10 cents. It may just run away because it's about ready to break. See, this is a major pivot right here. This one right here is a major pivot. Okay. Yeah, it didn't pierce it on the 5. So anyways, that's what by the way, Orville, that was what I was looking at. I was hoping it would run back to that line because it did it so straight. You know, when it came back, I was hoping it would come back and bust through this line and then rotate, but it never reached there. That's always a bad sign when your movements are not going to your points of rotation. It's a bad sign that there's not enough players in the market right now. Okay, so I'm going to focus on gold here. So we are going through it. I'm liking this. It did not mine. All right, so if we get hung up here to the downside, I'm not going to be surprised because this is our first time here. See, this is our first time at the bottom of the prior day low. So, I mean, if you took a stab at a short here, I wouldn't be negative about it. It's because it's probably got some pretty good possibilities. I'm going to be right back.
Dennis, our Dennis LLC.
Of course, as soon as I step away, my phone rings. So gold did that initial. I just don't, because we've rotated up here, we rotated up again. I'm not anticipating it going down. If we had gone from here to here, I would have been more interested in it going down. So now we're getting ready to cross back over. That's kind of what I'm thinking we're going to do. Yeah, exactly, David. Yeah, you get to hear my phone. That was my construction manager calling. Okay, so we're sitting here. We're sitting here. And the ES is about ready to run into the prior day low also. Let me shrink something here so I can kind of see what's going on. All right, now gold is busted through. All right, gold has busted through the prior day low. That's a good sign. Let's hope it doesn't do the same thing that the freaking the RTY did and the YM did, which was just run away. Frustrating they ran away like that. And left us hanging. So now we're up in this zone. So I wouldn't mind this coming back, and I wouldn't mind the gold line being there at the same time. And I wouldn't mind a consolidation candle on top of that prior day low and then look for a long. That's what I would like to see. That's exactly what I would like to see right now. Come on, gold. Man, these things have gone to sleep over here. Look at this. Look at this garbage. That's not the case with the NQ and the ES. They're actually rotating up. All right, come on, gold. Let's get a little bit of commitment here. Absolutely, Stephen. I've been chirping it that's why Jim, who is my best student of this strategy, finally took my advice and swapped from NQ, where he was doing very well, made a lot of money trading in the NQ, swapped over to gold, and he's just like, holy crap. He finally listened to me and went over to gold, and he's gone surfing already today, but he'll tell you it changed. I mean, it didn't change his results because he was doing very well in the NQ, but it certainly made his results better even, and less stressful. I mean, because the NQ is a bear. The NQ is a bear to trade. I struggle trading it. It is a bear to trade. Come on, gold. Whereas gold is a little bit more deliberate. Like, it's rotation. It broke this pivot here. You guys watch Jim. He keeps talking about pivots. Well, it broke this pivot here and then rolled up into these gold lines right here. And that's why I took that short there. Then it rolled back up into these gold lines again. I took that short when it braked and it didn't work. And then it rolled up and broke this pivot right here by one tick, came and sat on top of these gold lines, and boom, I took it back. That's what he's talking about when he's saying broke pivot, broke pivot, broke pivot. He's looking at the rotations of the pivots on these charts and his gold lines predominantly. Come on, gold. Come on, gold. You can do it. Everybody watching this live stream right now has faith that you can pull back and hit that prior day low. We do. We have faith in you. And you can do it with a little bit of conviction. We have faith. All right, here we go. Here we go. Come on. All right, here we are. Now, caveat. Our red line is still sloping down. Okay, remember that. So, what may actually happen, and I've talked about this many times, I'm going to talk about it again. This may actually cross down, create space, do a retest to the bottom side, and go short. Do not be surprised if that's what ends up happening here. I'm not going to be surprised if that's what happens. That's the version of the reset. Okay, that's the version of the reset on the static lines. It's exactly what happened right here. It's exactly what happened this morning. So I would not be surprised if we cross over, create a gap, come back, test the bottom, and then the trade is actually short, because our red line is still sloping steeply to the downside. And that's kind of what it looks like. Yep, there you go. All right, so yeah. This is exactly what happened this morning. All right, are we going to go long? Oh, is it going to go long? Oh my God, it might go long. Hold on here. Oh my God, it did go long. Is it going to go long? All right, I'm in it for it to go long. I'm in it for it to go long. I need this to go up. Come on. I need it to go long. Come on. Come on. Oh my God, are you serious? Come on. I want to take this as my stop. Come on. They're fighting it on both sides of the coin. God dang it. Yep. Shit. I should have gone with my freaking instincts. Should have gone with my instincts. My instincts told me it was going to go short. God dang it. Yep. My instincts told me it was going to go short. God dang it. And I allowed it to fake me into it. It's not creating any gaps. So what's going to happen is it's going to break one of these zones, either this one or this one. And that'll be the direction. I'm still thinking it's going to go short. Come on, gold. Farfignugan. I still think it's going to go short. Yep, now it's committed to going short. Now it's committed to going short. So what we want is it to run up. We want it to run up now. Retest. So we want it to run up and retest right here. Come on. Couple more ticks, damn it. Couple more ticks. There you go. There you go. All right. Now roll over, damn it. Come on. Roll over, damn it. Man, this is ugly. Come on. Why are you taking your time? Keep going. Now roll, roll, roll. I'll stop here. Come on, roll. Keep rolling. There you go. Now roll. Roll over. Keep going. Jesus. Come on. Keep going. Oh my God, this is painful. It should have caught speed by now. Seriously. Roll over, damn it. Hurry up. There's a 5-minute red line in the ES setting up, and I'm sitting here struggling with this damn thing. Come on, roll over. Come on, gold. Come on, gold, go. Get some freaking leg. Okay, I'm going to even on this, which means that's probably what's going to happen to me. Come on, gold. What the hell? Yep. Well, no, hold on. Come on, gold. Shit. Come on, gold. Come on, gold. You freaking just absolute dog. What the hell? All right, hold on here. Come on, gold. Man, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. We are in trouble because it's going to sit on that freaking 9. 5-minute 9 right now. Come on, gold. Collapse right through it. Come on. Collapse right through it. Come on. There you go. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Let's go. Come on. Fall. Fall. All right, I am not going to let it give up the 9. So we're either going to roll over or not. I'm not going to let it bounce off that 9. Anyways, I got the 5-minute. Did any of you guys get that 5-minute red line in the ES? Did any of you get that? I got it. Did any of you get that? I was in that at the same time. Any of you get that? Now, look at this gold reaction here. So notice this was the break point. I knew this is why I have this gold line on here. This one right here. Because when we started fighting through it, I knew I needed to protect that candle right there. That's why my stop was there. See the reaction? See the reaction? I mean, you see that reaction? That's why that line is on my charts, because I can see when we get to it, if we have a bad reaction the other way, I know to get the hell out. Anyways, yeah, I nailed that. I nailed that little trade right there. The ES, I didn't even have enough. I was too busy focused on this to really trade it for what it should have been, which is probably somewhere further up in here. It hasn't shown any reason yet to be out. The ES trade.
Dennis
Let
LLC.
me grab this, guys. Hold on. Sorry about that. Yeah, give me a like, by the way, while you're at it. Man, so here's a lesson. Okay, here's a lesson I want to point out. So this is that 45 EMA. I very lightly have it on here, but this is why when we're running towards it and price stops there, you're going to have a reaction like this most likely. And so that's how I was able to either capture this profit in that deal or nothing. So that's the reason I have that line on there. I mean, it could have been a lot more accentuated than that if price would have come down a little faster than it did, meaning, but anyways, because see that it's about, so remember what one of the biggest parts of my strategy is to try to recognize where the big red candles are going to be or where the big green candles are going to be, depending on shorts or longs. Just like the NQ here, recognizing that this is where the big red candle is going to be. We should know why this big red candle exists. We should know this by now. Okay. Everybody watching this stream that studied my class, we should know why that big red candle's there. Okay. We should know that. I shouldn't have to tell you why it's there. And but the one I don't really talk about is this one, and that's why that big green candle's there. I mean, it's knowing where those things are going to happen if you're in a trade and you need to, figure out how to protect yourself. Now, it's very possible, just like any other red line. See, here's the red line. We went right through it. It was very possible we were going to go right through it down to here, just like we went right through the red line here. But if for some reason this got hung up and you're in a long, you want to make sure your stop is right here for the reversal so you don't get punched in the face from the red line. Does that make sense? Anyways, so every day is a lesson day, at least from my perspective. And by the way, the ES did the same thing. It ran up to that little gold line, and then when that candle right here broke, it was over. So, damn it, gold. Gold started getting squirrely on us here. It's not cooperating. Did anybody take that NQ short off the red line? Probably not. The ideal situation with that red line and NQ is for it to cross back over and sit on top of it back to the long side. That's really the ideal trade on that NQ. And so why is that? Well, because we have such a uptrending red line. So the ideal situation is for price to come back, break this pivot right here that it's been created from the red line down, and then cross over and sit on top of that red line and take a long. That's the ideal trade in my world for the NQ. Jesus. All right. Sorry about that. Had a little emergency on a house that I'm trying to finish up right now. little emergency. Anyways, sorry about that. I hope everybody's doing all right. It's when the market starts getting, by the way, the RTY did the same thing. So you had your rotation from here to here to here. Did everybody see that? I don't know if anybody took that. So you had same thing with your, so right here you had your high straight back to your red line, and then bam. That was pretty nice. So the RTY did it. The YM, on the other hand, meandered. So I'm still hoping the YM comes back and tests the high, the prior day high. And maybe the RTY will do it too. Okay. Sorry. It's above mine. See it right there? And not only that, look at that candle. I mean, if you've ever seen a consolidation candle in your life, if anybody wants to take a picture of what a consolidation candle looks like, that's it right there. That is a consolidation candle right there. And that's what you want to see on these lines. You want to see the battle coming the other, and the candle to be a nice big consolidation candle, and then wham, right out the other side. Well, do you have your settings to change on price? David, we talked about this earlier because somebody else had their settings wrong on their moving averages. Man, looks like gold is going to go long. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. All right, so whoa. Let me get this. Sorry. Jesus, sorry, guys. There it is. Jesus, I as soon as I saw this, I said, shit, this is probably down there. Yeah, it's getting right there. It's getting right there. Now, let's see how it got there. 1, 2, and it starts from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, are you going to leave me a tick or two short? Are you going to leave me a tick or two short, RTY, after all this fucking time? Excuse me. Well, yes, you do have it set that way, Ryan. But you got to have your setting to change, just like you do on your 9 EMA. I don't know why you're even talking about the 5-minute red line, 5-minute gold line, Ryan. I'm not even quite sure. Now I'm confused because nobody's talking about that. David's talking about his red line, right? You're talking about your red line, David, right? I'm just trying to stay focused on potential trade too. Yeah, there's a red line there too. Well, no, because it's how it got here. Orville, see how it got here? It didn't get this was the setup right to here, like it did in the RTY. Now it came from here. I'm really looking for it to do this. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. You were talking about the red line. Now we are getting a pattern of lower highs, which is what we want. We want a pattern of lower highs when we go to pierce the prior day low. When we're coming from the top, when we're coming from a distance, not when we're doing a crossover retest. We want a pattern of them when we're coming from an area. If we do a crossover retest, that's totally different. Come on, RTY. Jesus. It's just pissing me off. Seriously, just pissing me off. All right, I'm not giving up on it. I'm just going to be more cautious now because it broke our pattern, our down pattern. So let me now I'm going to want, okay, so we finally pierced the prior day low. I'm going to want like an inside candle. I'm going to want something a little, you can see the buyers pushing it up now that we finally pierced. And then now they push it back down. Well, it also broke the lower pivot to the left, true, Orville, but it didn't come from the top. You want it to come from the top to here. You don't want it to come from a lower high. A lower recent high. Just like the RTY here, if you look at this one, let's go to the RTY. See how it came from a high? Bam. That's what made that one good. Same thing with the ES. It came from a high, and then bam. All right, let's pay attention. I want this to it's going to just run off on me. It's just going to run off on me. And it's going to go. And it's going to go. And it's going to go. Look at gold. Jesus criminy Christmas gold. And it's going to go. I don't know if anybody took that YM. I should have probably taken it looking at the size of this candle. I didn't have to protect much. I mean, let me see here. Yeah, I'd have been way below my stop. My stop would be down here. Yeah, damn it. I probably should have taken that. Well, obviously, after the fact, I can tell you I should have taken it. But, whoa. We don't want that. We don't want that. Clear, clear, clear. Close, close, close. Close, close, close. What's going on here? You took that YM. Good job. Let me find something here. All right. My trade saver threw the order on there. I pushed my trade saver button so I could see where my stop was, because it shows me where my entry would be in my stop real quick. I didn't want the order sitting on my screen. And then it ran into the bottom of the red line. Freaking gold. Freaking gold. Frustrating. Gold did that situation where it got on top of the prior day low, broke this pivot here, sat on the gold line, and then wham, gone. Well, Farfignugan. Sorry. I blocked out the chart there. Jesus. Man, ES did that one bounce. Did that one bounce off the red line and then just went right to sleep. Look at that. I mean, this thing is completely to sleep. Completely to sleep. It's even making me tired looking at it. It's even making me tired. I'm just pissed off right now that I didn't catch that gold trade to the long side now. Damn it. Good idea, David. You just might be onto something. That would be nice, David. You're right. I'd like it to pull back a little bit more. There it goes. Shit. It just might do it. There it goes, David. So if you're doing the W pattern, you're looking for it to break this line right here. You're looking for it to break that line right there. And if it does that, then you should look for it to rotate back up into here. There it goes. God dang. David, I'm just going to let you call the shots. You call the trades for me, all right? Let's let you call the trades. The hell with it. Now, it's going to battle this. It's going to battle the red line. We all know that. But what we're hoping is because we have a pivot here and a pivot here back into the red line, that it gives up the ghost and allows you to run through. Because you're coming from this pivot that broke this pivot, that created this pivot, that broke this pivot. So you're hoping that this pivot that broke this pivot from this pivot, which is higher than this pivot, is the rotation that pushes you through. I wanted it to come back a little further too, David. I really did. I wanted it to come back a little further, but it didn't, obviously. But it's still a beautiful setup. It's showing signs that it can go through that red line. And shit. Now it rolled back over again. I tell you, Noah, speaking of that, the word pivot. If you could start recognizing, just like this gold situation, I'll give everybody in here. I would tell you, right, if Jim was here right now and that rotation happened just like that and sat there, he would have been in that for 10 points. Because he's focuses on those pivots. And 10 points is $1,000. That's from here to here, 10 points. Boom. Because he focuses on those pivot breaks in the direction of the market. And that's what the reality of it is. That's 80% of any 80%. I don't know. I'm just making up a number now, but a large percentage of price action trading is recognizing pivots and understanding why when a pivot is broken here and then you have a pullback to here, what's really going on. And that's, I mean, again, I'll go back to this gold one. Okay. You had this break. This is the pivot that was set up to sit on top of this prior day low. You had a rotation up, it broke, then they pulled back into this gold line. They've already beaten the hell out of the prior day low, so now they're going to go to the gold line. They're going to go to the next thing above, and that was the gold line, and then wham, there was the rotation. They go from element to element. Oh, good job, Noah. Good job, Noah. Yeah, the thing about that YM, man, is this is one of those situations where from the prior day low, the buyers are going to keep trying to push it up. And so if they win that battle, here's really your pivot, obviously, Orville. So, you know, the bigger money is already in the trade and their stop is here. You know what I mean? And they're just counting on the rotation to bring it back up to this area. That's what the bigger money is doing. Good idea, Noah. That's really not too bad of a rotation to get to. Yeah. And keep in mind, and I talk about this, the intent. So let's go back over here to gold. The intent, once they went on top of the prior day low, the intent was to bring it to here. That's the intent. Just like when they rotated underneath here, the intent was to bring it to here. And they meandered, and then the intent is to go from here to here. That's what the intent is. Just like this YM that Orville's complaining about, which I don't blame him. The intent, especially when the market gets a little slower, you know, we're past all the hyper stupidness. Okay. You got to have a different mindset when you're trading after 11 o'clock or so. The intent is what I talked about from the moment we crossed here. The intent was to bring it down here and then bring it to here. That's the intent. That is the intent. You heard me talk about it the whole time we were going through here. I kept saying they got to bring it down here first, then they can bring it here. That's the intent. I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it right now. Okay. Sorry. I mentioned this before, and I'm going to mention it again right now. But I've met a YM trader who's half my age, who trades only the YM. And he lives in a multi-million-dollar house. And he's half my age. And he talks about the consistency of the YM with things like what I'm talking about right here, which is why he trades the YM versus, say, the ES and the NQ. You know, the NQ is too manipulated as far as he's concerned. Totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. And he's half my age. Now, is he trading lines to lines? I never talked about strategy. Not one word of strategy with him at all. Ever. Ever did I talk about strategy. But I just know that he trades it for a lot of the same reasons that I like the RTY, because he talks about how it moves in straight lines and things like that. But we didn't talk about strategy whatsoever. I don't know if he uses a 5-minute chart, a 1-minute chart, a tick chart. I don't know any of that. But I know that he makes a lot of money trading the YM only. Only the YM. That's it. He trades nothing else. Which I found interesting. That was the most interesting part to me when I met him. Said he's like that he trades the YM. I'm like, the YM? Really? Now, I mean, I've traded the YM in the past. I don't mind the YM, but it's doing what we talked about right there. Isn't that now? Or wasn't that a pisser? Because here's the trigger candle right here. Boom. And the intent is to rotate this damn thing, and it's doing it from higher pivots each time. Here's this pivot. Here's this pivot. And then there'll soon be one right here as it keeps bumping into that red line, and it needs to get over it and then sit on top of it and then run itself back up to here. But anyways, he is, what his strategy is, no idea. I have not a clue. Literally don't have a clue. But I know things like this work very consistently in the YM. Gold. Gold. Question was, if I could trade just one instrument, what would it be? Gold. Hands down, gold. It fits my personality. It fits my personality. It's when it gets past, whatever, it's just very predictable. That's one of the reasons I also like the RTY. It's very predictable. It's why I used to like oil. I still like oil. It's very predictable on how it moves. The problem is it just doesn't have the rotations that gold has now. So I'd rather have my money invested in gold than oil. The ones I'd stay away from, me personally, the NQ. I think the NQ is addictive to people. I think they see the movement and they see the money that they can make, and they're not comprehending the money that they will lose. I mean, I've taken some really simple gold trades today, and I missed the two biggest trades that I teach. I've missed the two biggest trades that I teach because I was talking to somebody this morning, and even with my little $400, $800, I lost 200 there, so that's 600. Then I made 400, that's 1,000, and then another 400, that's 1,400. I'd be up $1,400 right now if I was trading from the morning that I normally do to now. It's just I'd be up $1,400 trading one contract without any stress while I'm doing it. Good job, Orville. I mean, without any stress when I did it, I'd be up $1,400 right now. I missed the two best trades. So instead of being up $1,400, I'm up. I have to go look. I haven't even looked. I'm up $550 because I missed the two biggest trades, which were $800. One of them at 825, the other one at 918. Now the YM is still rotating, pivot. It's good. It's about to create another pivot high. If it rotates a little bit here, it's still rotating long. It's just stuck because it's underneath the red line right now. It's stuck. It has to fight its way back through. But remember, I talk about this. Again, let's talk about this. I mean, I know I'm a repeating parrot a lot of times, but order of operations. This line is more powerful than this line. This line is more powerful than this line. And once you recognize which ones are more powerful than which ones, you know which way to take your trades. You know which ones to take, which ones to stay away from. Like you don't take a red line short back into the prior day low, because the red line is not as powerful as the prior day low. It just keeps you out of, again, is that in perpetuity accurate? No, but it's statistically accurate. And that's all you can do when you trade, is be statistically accurate in the trades that you take. Probability that this trade is going to work is higher than not. So that's why I'm going to take this trade, for example. And so you're just looking for the statistical probabilities. And part of that is knowing the order of operations of which lines are more powerful than other lines. So you know to confidently take this trade back into the red line. Now the red line punched it in the face and pushed it back down, but it's losing the battle. They're still punching it long. It's losing this battle.
Unknown caller.
That's why I have voicemail. You understand that? I mean, do you think I have voicemail for fun? Jesus. All right, so like in the YM, if anybody's looking for a potential future entry, I would be game for it when it breaks this pivot here to the long side, creates space and comes and sits on top of that red line. Then I'd be looking for it, looking for a long. Now, you know, this is where you have to be real patient because the market is very slow and methodical at this point. So you had your pivot, you're about ready to create a pivot line here. So your bottom pivots keep going higher. Your top pivots keep going higher. You see that? Pivot, pivot. And the reason that is because of this line right here, this prior day low. Yeah, the problem is, I don't know if I can do that with my iPhone or not, but I just don't. You know, sometimes things are a priority, and I'll forget that I put somebody not as a priority. But this person right now is just calling me about some stupid shit that, you know, listen, you're not a priority right now. This is getting interesting because this now broke this rotation pivot high. We did not break that pivot. This is interesting. This is very interesting. All right. The YM is battling back. It's battling back. A bad sign was when this swing right here did not break this pivot. Right here. That was a bad sign, at least in the short term. These freaking people, I have voicemail for a reason. This pivot here, let me just blow this up here. This pivot here is still being being defended. This actual pivot to the long side. Oh my God, they used my voicemail. Holy crap. Jesus. Holy shit, they understood what I was saying when I said, leave me a message and I'll get back to you. They understood what that was. Shocker. I only said it to them 3 times this morning in my voicemail. Five. Orville, 5. All right, come on. Kevin, that may be true, but I'm going to tell you right now, show me where the VWAP is more powerful than that right there. That determined the direction right there, my friend. Right there. I don't give a rat's ass about VWAP. If you also notice, I don't have any pivots on my chart. You'll notice that I don't have R1, S1. I don't have any of that garbage on my charts. You know why? Because those are places that people lose their money. Let me see here. Exactly. Ryan, you hammer, nail, you hit it. Exactly. That's exactly right. Hammer, nail, you hit it. Yeah, I got you, Kevin. Exactly, Jeff. I don't. The Sharks know that everybody has those on their line, on their charts, Jeff. This guy right here knows everybody has that on their chart. And you know what he does because he knows that? He steals your money. It's the first thing everybody puts on their charts are these mathematical calculations of support, resistance, and pivot. I love the shark. I need to get I don't know what the problem is with this shark. By the way, where I go fishing at the Outer Banks, they catch these things. Somebody caught one right off the beach. They catch them. Somebody caught one. I'm in the Facebook channel for it. Somebody caught one. About a week ago. I think it was just a little over 6 feet, and it was this. It was a great white. You can only catch them when they migrate through, because they like warm water, so they only migrate through at certain times. Unlike at the Outer Banks, you can catch tiger sharks, which are actually very deadly. Tiger sharks are, great white. Tiger sharks are much more deadly than a great white. And you can catch those at the Outer Banks all the time. I shouldn't say all the time. Quick funny story for you about the Outer Banks. I was out at the Outer Banks. You got to understand, the Outer Banks is 60 plus miles of beach with nobody on it. Okay, out on the peninsula of North Carolina. And I was out there one time fishing with my wife and my kids, and I had a 4-wheel drive, and I was drove out on the beach, and I'm out there fishing, and my kids are swimming and that kind of stuff. There's no lifeguards, there's no nothing. You're out on your own. It's every man for himself. Anyways, I see off in the distance these two guys sitting in a Jeep, like a Jeep Wrangler, and they had a canoe type thing, like a kayak. So I just wandered down and started talking to them. Well, they had one of those mooring balls that they had strapped to a rope, and then they had taken that kayak and they brought the mooring ball out there with a chicken on a big hook, and they dropped it in the water and left the mooring ball out there, and then they kayaked back in, and they tied the rope to the bumper of the Jeep And then they just sat in their Jeep and drank beer and waited for that mooring ball to drop. And then what they would do is they'd put their Jeep in reverse and back out, and they would drag a shark up on shore. That was their idea of fishing. Oh my God. And then one time I was at the Outer Banks. This was probably, I'd have to look up the date, but I would say 17, 18 years ago. And I saw sharks swimming by the shore where I was at. You could see them, the dorsal fins come out. But anyways, it was evening time. You don't ever go in the water in the evening time. You don't ever go in the water in the evening time. Okay? That is one thing you never do at the Outer Banks is go in the water in the evening time. Well, all of a sudden a Flight for Life helicopter goes flying by. And I mean, I'm talking it was dark. It was pretty much dark. And a Flight for Life helicopter flies by and it goes down the beach. And I just see it disappear. And then it comes back about 15 minutes later. So long story short, the next day, all the locals were talking at the breakfast place that I go to. And what had happened is there was a Russian couple on their honeymoon. They jumped in the ocean in Avon, North Carolina, swimming on their honeymoon. And the wife got attacked by a tiger shark and killed. And the husband got attacked also. And he survived, but he got tore up pretty bad. So, yeah, you know, that's when they're the most deadly. And right there in Avon, North Carolina, you guys look it up. It's a beautiful place, Avon, North Carolina. But anyways, yeah. Anyways, well, I'm not seeing anything setting up right now, so I'm going to shut this down for the day. And I'll be back tomorrow. I'm up $550. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow, okay? So I can get back to these people and sell some houses, do my second job. Jim gets to go surfing because he's making too much money now. He doesn't even care about his actual second job. Jaws ruined me, by the way. Joe, funny story, quick story about Jaws. So I was living in Connecticut at the time, and my father rented a beach house in Connecticut in Mystic, Connecticut for a week. Okay, the day before we went, not a week, a month. The day before we went, he brought me to see the movie Jaws. I mean, my mom was so fucking pissed. God, she was pissed. I wouldn't even touch the water. But anyways, everybody have a good day. Talk to you later.